Welcome to the webinar for Real Estate Trust Accounting. Disclaimer: the information contained in this webinar is of a general nature and may be a snapshot or summary or synopsis of legal and ethical responsibilities. The contents of the webinar should be considered in the context of the applicable laws and legislation applying in Australia and the relevant state or territory. The information should not be relied upon in any specific incident or action relating to a real estate agency activity or the activities of the licensee directors or staff of an agency. Real Estate Trust Accounting is Module CPPDSM4006A, Establish and Manage Agency Trust Accounts. This is a 10-minute introduction session of this module. This is a unit overview of CPPDSM4006A. Application of the unit. This unit of competency supports the work of licensed real estate agents and agency principals involved in establishing, managing and administering agency trust accounts. The element of performance. The elements described the essential outcomes of a unit of competency. Review agency trust accounts for compliance with the trust account requirements. Establish and maintain trust accounts. Manage and control trust accounts. Monitor and review trust account. Authorize and verify trust accounts. Introduction to the unit. This 10-minute session introduces you to the basic knowledge of opening and operating a trust account for a real estate agency. In Queensland, the real estate agency industry is regulated by the Queensland State Government. The Queensland State Government's legislation that regulates the real estate agency industry is the Property Agents and Motor Dealers Act and its regulations. These documents can be downloaded free of charge from the Queensland Government's Office of Fair Trading website. The following occupations must maintain a trust account in accordance with the Property Agents and Motor Dealers Act and its regulations. Real estate agents operating as principals of a real estate agency, the licensee. Residential letting agents. Auctioneers not subcontracted by a real estate agent to conduct an auction. The procedure for opening a trust account. Number 1. A trust account for a real estate activity undertaken in Queensland under the Property Agents and Motor Dealers Act must be opened with an approved financial institution. 2. The manager of the branch of the financial institution where the trust account will be open must be given a copy of the individual's real estate license. 3. The name of the trust account must include the words trust account, or in the case where any deposit will be invested in a bank account as instructed by a contract of sale, the words special trust account must be used. 4. Once the trust account has been opened, the licensee has 14 days in which to advise the Chief Executive of the Office of Fair Trading in writing of its opening. 5. The advice to the Chief Executive of the Office of Fair Trading regarding the opening of a trust account must include A. Whether the account is a general trust account or a special trust account. B. The name of the financial institution where the account is or was kept. C. The account name. D. The identifying number of the financial institution. And E. The account number. Payments into a trust account. Number 1. All money received in connection with a real estate transaction must be deposited into a general trust account. 2. When a deposit is received where the contract of sale requires the deposit to be invested into an interest-bearing bank account for more than 60 days, the money must be banked into a special trust account that has already been opened, and the Chief Executive of the Office of Fair Trading has been advised of the opening of the trust account. 3. No other money apart from the deposit paid by purchasers and rent and bonds paid by tenants or reimbursements to property owners by tenants can be banked into a trust account, except in the case where a single payment includes monies to be banked into a trust account and monies to be banked into the agency's general bank account. 4. The cost of marketing and advertising prepaid by a seller is placed into the trust account until paid out to a third-party supplier. This is known as prepaid vendor paid advertising. Trust account records. The trust account process in most real estate agencies are fully computerized, but for the purpose of learning and understanding the trust accounting process and the legal requirements in Queensland, an example of a manual system is shown. Trust account records. The Property Agents and Motor Dealers Act regulations requires a principal licensee to keep the following books of accounts and records. 1. A register of trust account receipt books used with details of start and end dates. 2. A trust account receipt book for each trust account with consecutive numbered trust account receipts in duplicate. 3. A trust account deposit book for each trust account showing banking details. 4. Deposit forms in duplicate for each trust account. 5. A trust account cash book for each trust account. 6. A trust account journal of consecutive numbered folios, page numbers, for each person on whose account the money is held in the trust account. 7. A trust account ledger for each trust account. 8. If the principal licensee is an auctioneer or real estate agent, full and accurate accounts of all money paid or received for the sale or transaction. 9. A client's account is sent to the agency's client when the agency accounts to the person whose money is held in the trust account. Number 1, an example of a receipt book register. A receipt book register is used to keep a record of the receipt books you use. So it has your agency name on, and then it has a receipt book number. So this first one would be number 1 if you're just starting in business. It has the start date when you first used the first receipt and the end date of the last receipt used, the first receipt number and the second and the last receipt number. So those are the items that have to be filled in, and then subsequently you start the next book. 2. The receipt book register must be updated within 48 hours of a new receipt book being issued and used. 3. The example of the trust account receipt. It must have the Property Agents and Motor Dealers Act on the top, a trust account receipt, and the name of the licensee, date that the receipt was issued, the receipt number. These are mechanical numbers that automatically advance for each receipt number, received by cash or cheque, from whom it was received, the sum of, being what it's for, paid on behalf of, it could be an owner of a property, so it's paid by a tenant on behalf of the owner of the property address, the property owner's name, if rent, the date paid to or from, and then you sign it. Number 4, the trust account receipt. A trust account receipt must be issued immediately money is received, that is to be banked into the trust account. A trust account receipt must be in duplicate, and a legible copy of each trust account receipt completed is kept in the principal licensee's records. A trust account receipt must be issued immediately money to be placed into a trust account is received either directly or by electronic funds transfer. Here's an example of a trust account receipt with the date, the receipt number, received by cash or cheque, sum of, being for 2 weeks rent, paid on behalf of, property 23 railway cuttings, property owner, and if rent date paid from or to, and then signed. A signature must be by an authorised person or the licensee issuing an authorisation to the staff member to sign receipts. Number 5, the trust account receipt deposit book. Once money has been received, it has to be banked, and therefore a bank deposit book is used. The licensee must immediately, on receiving a payment to be banked into a trust account, pay into the licensee's general trust account, and that has to be done immediately. Number 6, the trust account bank deposit slip. This is a slip for the amount of money banked that particular day, giving details of what was banked, and this marries up with the deposit book. The deposit slip is in duplicate and the agency keeps a copy. Number 7, the trust account cash book receipt side. The cash book shows the money coming in, the money coming out of the trust account. So we have the date of receipt, the name of the person from whom received, the short particulars of the transaction, the receipt number, the client general number, the amount received, and the amount banked. This is an example of number 7, the trust account cash book. It shows the receipt side, the date of receipt being the 28th of June, the name of the person from whom received, it's Larry and Lucy lunch bucket, short particulars, 2 weeks rent from the 1st of July to the 13th of July on 23 railway cuttings, the receipt number 073811, the client journal number, the folio is D01, and the amount received was $800. We received no other money that day, so the amount banked is $800. Had we received an additional amount, then the amount banked would change. We're still on number 7, the trust account cash book. This time we're looking at the payment side. This is money going out of the trust account. So we have the headings of the payments, date of payment, name of person to whom paying, short particulars of the transaction, the check number, the client journal number, and the amount paid. This is an example of number 7, trust account cash book. This is the payment side, and we can see that on the 30th of June we paid out 2 weeks rent to D Dobson. The check number was 05221, the client journal was D01, and the amount paid was $760. We also on that date took out money for the commission for Apex Realty, and that was on rents collected for 5%. The check number was 05222, the client folio was AR01, and it was $40. The check has to be drawn because the money is in a trust account, and it has to be drawn and paid into Apex Realty account, and obviously there's also a rent to be drawn for the property owner, Mr. D Dobson. This is still trust account records. This is number 8, the trust account journal, the client ledger. We have to keep ledgers showing how much money we keep for each client, and this is an example. The client ledger account detail, the folio is D01, the name, address, and property owner property address is placed in, together with the date, short particulars of transaction, check or receipt number, because this folio or client ledger has both money coming in and money going out, folio, debit, credit, and the balance. Number 8, the trust account journal, client ledger, an example. Here we see an example of a client's ledger, the account journal, the folio is D01, the name is Derek Dobson, the address is 25 Brentwood Chase, Brentwood, the property address is 23 Railway Cuttings, Brentwood. There's a date, short particulars of transaction, check or receipt number, the folio, the debit, credit, and the balance. Here we see money has been received on the 28th of June, 2 weeks rent for July. The check or receipt number, in this case it's a receipt number. The folio is the trust account cash book, that's what TACB stands for. There's no debit. We received money in, $800, and therefore the balance is $800.